Ms. Johnson, I would like for you to introduce yourself to everybody at Seraaj Family Homes and the public. Just tell us something about yourself you want to share with us and how long you've been with Seraaj.
My name is Susan Johnson, and I guess I've been here since 2013, 14.
Yes.
You
I
just
met you in
remind me.
2014. That's right.
That's amazing. I've been with Seraaj since 2014.
Yes.
And I can just give you a little detail what I probably told you back then.
Yes.
That I happened to be shopping and ran into this young lady that
Paula
works.
Barnes.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
you're good.
Paula Barnes.
Paula, and her and I had a conversation, and
Yes.
she said to me, she said, "You look like the type of person that love kids."
Yes.
And her and I start talking about my niece,
Yes.
Nima, at that time, 2014.
Wow.
And she was telling me that how would I like being a foster mom?
Sure.
And I said to her, I don't know, because I had just retired.
That's true.
I had
From
just
Amtrak.
retired. Yeah, Amtrak.
Yes.
Good
I
memory.
remember.
And I said, well, I don't know. She said, well, if you're interested,
Yes.
here's my card. She
Yes.
gave me her card and everything. And I waited maybe about a month.
Yes.
And I called.
Yes.
And got went up to the headquarters up here.
Yes.
And we all talked, and
Yes.
we all sit up there and had classes, and
Yes.
one thing led to another. When are we going to start the class?
Yes.
So everybody said, okay, on the weekend.
Yes.
Okay, that's what we chose.
Okay.
And it was, at that time, it was 10 of us in there. 10.
Yes.
10, but out of 10, 2 of us
Yes.
stayed.
That's usually
And hung in
the case.
there. And today, we are still
You're
there.
still there.
Still
That's
there,
fantastic.
both of us.
You know what
still
was
there.
amazing when I was talking to you and I was asking about your life, you was telling me that, in summary, that you've always been a caregiver. You was telling me about your nieces and your nephews. And,
My brothers, my sister.
okay, that's what you was telling me.
Always.
Yeah.
And it took my baby sister to say, Sue, you always took care of us. And my mom had 8 kids.
Yes.
And she said that you just look at each and every one of them.
Yes.
She said, even
Yes.
to me,
Okay.
and she's my baby sister, to my
Sure.
baby brother that is
Okay.
now deceased.
Okay.
Yeah, and even to my best friends.
Wow.
Even my best friend, she said, you've always been there for us.
Wow.
Always.
Wow. How many kids have you fostered since you've been with us?
I'd say about 4 or 5.
About 4. Okay. And you've adopted a young
I
man.
had one little fella. I got him the very next day. He was turning 1 month old.
Okay.
And I picked him up from John Hopkins Bayview.
Wow.
Yes. And the only problem I had, I didn't know he was an addicted baby.
Sure.
I didn't know what to expect from
Okay.
him when I got him.
Okay.
They gave me all the information, gave
Sure.
me his doctor's number and
Okay.
everything. I called her up.
Sure.
And she told me that, they gave whatever the last medication. Now I
Yes.
had to wean him off
Sure.
that.
Okay.
And she told me what to do.
Okay.
And that led to one thing. That's why he's so spoiled. God, he's spoiled.
So you actually took the baby 1 month from John Hopkins.
Well, he wasn't even a month old.
He
The
wasn't even a
next
month old.
day he was turning 1 month old.
Wow.
The next day. And he was addicted to the methadone.
Yes. Yes.
And they told me, his doctor told me what to do with that.
Okay.
And I wrapped him up in
Sure.
swaddling clothing
Okay.
and walked around the house with him
Okay.
because he cried and cried and cried.
Okay.
I never experienced this. Never.
Okay.
Never. He cried and cried. And the more he cried, the more I cried. But
Okay.
we got over it.
Wow.
We got over
What
it
time
in a
frame?
matter.
This is 2
15,
months?
it took about 15 days.
15 days.
15 days.
And he was able to settle down.
He was able to settle down. He had developed like acid reflux.
Sure.
So everything he put down, it got right back
Sure.
up.
Sure.
And to make that long story short, he's now 3 years old.
Okay.
Effective June 5th, I adopted him. He's
Wow.
my son.
Okay.
He is my son. He
Yes.
has my last name, Johnson.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent.
And matter of fact, I gave him both my brothers that passed away. I gave him their names.
Wow.
So I did do something else.
Okay.
I gave him his mother's last name.
You are amazing.
You know why? Because
Tell us why.
I'm 67.
Okay.
So if he grow up and he
Okay.
see his birth certificate,
Okay.
he'll go,
Okay.
what is this name?
Yes.
So he'll go,
Yes.
why she put this name
Yes.
in there? So that's why.
This is what we encourage people, Seraaj.
Yeah.
It's open adoption. We have a strong belief, especially me, that children have an inherited right to know who they are.
Yeah.
And I feel that if anybody on the planet got a special historical right to know who they are, it's the African Americans.
That's right. That's
because
right.
of what happened
That's
to us
right.
in our experience.
That's right.
And so I tell people, now we are in charge. We have to do what's right.
That's right.
And let's make sure children know who they are
That's right.
as they grow. And that's wisdom.
That's right.
For you to look at that and be able to do that for their child.
That's right. Because he has two cultures. His mom is white.
Okay.
His dad is black.
Okay.
So he has two cultures.
Yes.
And as I'm talking to you right now, and I just received a text message from his brother. He has a brother that's 16.
Okay.
He has a little sister, she's 4.
Wow.
He has another sister, she's 9.
Okay.
And I text his big brother and said, I now adopted your little brother.
Okay.
And I gave him his name.
Sure.
And he said, oh my God, you gave him my mom's name? He said, thank you, you didn't have to do that.
Wow.
And I said, you know what? I want you to stay in life for as long as you can. My number would never change.
Awesome.
But I want you to keep in contact
Awesome.
with me because
Awesome.
he's going to want to know who you are.
Yeah.
And he might need you one day.
That's right. That's right.
And he said, Ms. Johnson, he said, I thank you. I really thank you from the bottom of my heart. So when they asked for a 1 hour visit,
You've met the mother.
in the beginning,
Okay.
they were asked for a 1 hour visit.
Okay.
You know, his DSS worker was there. I was there. His little brother.
Yeah.
I mean, his little sister and big brother were
Sure.
there. And I would give them 2 and 3 hour visits.
Wow.
Never rushed it because she earns that. This is her child, you know. So I gave her that chance, and I didn't know that it would be the last time she would see him, but she said to me, she said, Miss Johnson, she said, you will be a better mother to him than I. And I said, no. I said, you will always be his mother. I will be his mom. So I do try to always, with all my foster kids,
Sure.
I try to let them all blend in with my family.
That's beautiful.
Because I have a lot.
Yes.
It's tons of us.
Yeah. And you originally from Maryland?
No, I'm a Washingtonian.
You're Washingtonian.
Washingtonian.
Okay. Parents are from Washington.
Say it again?
Your parents were from Washington?
Yes, they are.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you meet a lot of people in this area that have some type of southern roots or something.
My father, they're southern roots.
Okay.
They're from the Carolinas.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're from the Carolinas.
Okay.
But my grandmother, my mother's mom, she was born into Washington, but her parents are from the Virginia area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm a mom, I'm
Okay.
a grandmother, I'm also
Sure.
a great grandmother.
Okay.
These foster kids, really, they are good kids, but when
Okay.
they see the weakness in you,
Okay.
they take advantage of that.
Okay. Give us an example.
The kids that I get, I don't mind buying anything for.
Okay.
You know, it's allowed that you spend this much money, but I spend more.
Sure.
I give them more.
Sure.
And the more I give them, the more they want.
Okay. Okay.
But then guess what?
What?
I wind up and go get them.
Wow.
I know, I wind up and go get them.
It shows that you truly got passion for what you do. You know, I've been in this business for over 40 years, and I've never seen it with this type of demand of children coming into foster care throughout the country. And we really need more foster parents. I mean, of all nationalities, all religions, all, just
Right.
from different careers. So if you could help someone else become a foster parent, what would you tell them?
I tell them it's hard work.
Okay.
It is. It's
Okay.
hard work because some of the kids that you bring in,
Okay.
they already struggling.
Sure.
They already been out there. They got
Okay.
more knowledge of the street than you do.
Okay.
And if you know that if they can come into the system
Sure.
and we know just a little more about them, about their
Okay.
aggressiveness, and
Okay.
then we know what to look out for.
Okay.
But when you got a kid that come in and it's not the fault of no social worker
Sure.
because they don't know. You don't know their history,
you don't.
but just a little bit of the history.
Okay.
It wouldn't be so hard because some of these kids are very aggressive and some of these
I
kids
hear
are
you talking
challenged.
to people like us, that's saying that the more family social history we can gather to share with foster parents,
Yeah.
it would help the situation.
Yes, it would.
Okay. It's good
Or
to hear.
to even teach us more
Okay.
in training. When we
Okay.
do up the monthly training.
Give us an
to teach
example of what type of things. Think about when you was new. What type of things you said, "Boy, I wish I had learned this up front."
You know what? Because I did.
I saw the
I
eyes.
challenged. I did.
Okay,
I
challenge
challenged
us because we need to improve.
I had a girl that came in,
Okay.
and she was just as sweet as gold.
Okay.
She was sweet as gold.
Okay.
For 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks. Okay.
2
Honeymoon
weeks.
didn't last for 2 weeks.
And they tell you, they teach you, to put up all your items like knives and all.
Yes.
You got to put all that away.
Okay.
And I did all that. I did
Okay.
everything that was taught in class.
Sure. Okay.
But guess what? While you sitting there, and I'm in the kitchen doing something, and you that child, you done already watched every little move I made.
Yes.
So when I go to sleep, they creep downstairs while you sleep.
Okay.
They creep downstairs and they look through everything.
Wow.
And then one day, she actually found the knives. The whole thing of knives.
Wow.
She found them.
Wow.
And she went through, she went through one of her episodes.
Okay.
She had an episode and she went through it. And the back of her, I'm looking at her, I forgot her name, and she said to me, she says, I will kill you. And I said, with what? What? And then I have to remember what I had in class.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
And all she did was just saying, I'll kill you, and kept cursing at me and everything. And I said, no, you will not. So I happened to look and I said, what do you have behind you? She said, didn't I say I would kill you? So when she pulled it out, she had one of my big knives.
Wow.
The girl at that, she wore 215 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? At that time, so did I.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we both went to the doctor, we wore the same.
Okay.
I said, give it here, put it down.
Okay.
She said, no, I will kill you. But I picked her up, took her arm, bent it back to get that knife out of her.
Wow.
Out of her, I bent it all the way back. She finally dropped it, but I picked her up and put her on my countertop.
Mm.
And then once she dropped it and I picked it up, and I blocked the cabinet where I thought I hid everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, I said, you get back downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So what she did, she turned around and she called her lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Her lawyer then called my home phone and said, get her out of there now. She told me what she did to you, and I said she didn't do anything because I did get her from. She said, call 911
Mm-hmm.
and let them escort you to Shepherd Craft. And that's what I did.
Wow.
And we went up there, and I had to tag my grandson and my daughter with me. And we sat there for hours and hours. And I listened to her talk to the registered nurse, because the registered nurse asked all kinds of questions. And this what got me paranoid, even at that time, when the nurse said, do you ever want to commit suicide, or hurt somebody? She said, yeah, I want to hurt somebody. And I'll do it while she sleep. And that's when I got up and says, I can't have her back in my house for security, safety reasons.
Sure.
And
Was
I just decided.
Was that the first child you got? As a
No.
father? Okay.
Matter of fact, she was the third.
She was the third. Okay. Okay. And going back to training, you said there were certain things you wish you was trained in up front.
Well, they teach us
Okay.
that we can't put our hands on her.
Sure.
But we gotta defend us.
Yes.
I didn't hurt her.
Sure.
But I didn't know I had the strength to pick her up.
Yes.
I picked her up and put on the countertop to bend her arm back so that knife can drop off her hand.
Yes. Yes.
And the lawyer, she said to me, she said, I'm so glad you knew what to do to protect you and still not her. She didn't have a bruise, she didn't have nothing on.
Sure.
It was just that she was going through her episode and the medication that was given to her was just more.
Okay. Okay.
She needed more medication than what was prescribed already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I kept in contact even with her grandmother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what skills you think the foster parents should have? What things you would tell people, what does it take to be a foster parent? What do you need to have to be a foster parent?
I be honest, I think you should have skills as a mom.
Okay.
A mom.
Okay.
I mean, how can a single person just take a foster child? What do they know about that child?
Sure.
What do they know even about a baby? What do they know?
Sure. Okay.
You know, what do they know? So I feel some classes could be taken, but too far as to raise them, I think you should have some kind of experience.
Okay. Okay.
I do.
Okay. You think it would make it easy?
It will make it easy.
Okay. If you're already an experienced
If
parent.
you are, yeah, because if I just say if I wasn't a mom, I wouldn't know how to handle that. I probably would have ran out the door.
Yeah.
Because that's what they said. You run out the door. No, I'm not running out the door. I'm not going to let her know I'm afraid. But I didn't want to hurt her either.
Well, one of the things that's happening in Seraaj, a large percentage of our foster parents are grandparents.
Really?
People are living longer. They are healthier. And one of the things that I see, and I see in you, is that once they get these kids, it seems like they start looking younger.
That's right.
When I walked up to the door, I said, she is not aged. and I see it, and they get this burst of energy from being around
I
these
can't even
kids.
tell you how my day start. I'm up 6 in the morning, even on weekends.
That's right.
Even on weekends.
Yes.
But my kids tell me, because I have 3 grown children,
Yes.
and they tell me, they said, do your day ever end? But I think it's the little
giving
one.
you
I think
life,
it's
though.
Tank. I think it's the little 3-year-old I have. Yeah, it's him. You know what? Not only that, I mean, my weight has triggered. I done went from 200 and some pounds to 167 pounds. I no longer take insulin because I'm a type 2 diabetic.
I noticed that when I got to the door. I got a picture of you.
Wow.
The first time you met. That's right. But think about and what he's brought to your life and what you brought to him.
Joy.
It shows.
Joy, God.
And we see that all around. Yeah.
Joy.
I got to go back to this part if you don't mind. Because I want people to hear this, because I've heard this over and over again. I heard you say, in so many words, there's been a significant health benefit for you since you had.
I no longer take insulin. I'm type 2 diabetic. When I first started insulin, I was in my 50s, and that's because I stopped smoking.
Okay.
So when I stopped smoking, I put on weight and weight and weight, and I was taking insulin. So now I'm taking insulin 3 times a day.
Wow.
I was taking at least 30 milligrams or whatever it's in there, at least 3 times a day. And I can be very honest, but because of the illness he has,
yes,
and that's what the court put on his on his adoption paper, because of the mental illness he has, it allowed me to be more alert with him. I have to keep up with him. I can't be this age sitting up here trying to run. And my daughter, she played at Patapsco, and they had a concert. And I'm telling you, he went from, and at that time I had Z, and we all went to watch the performance. and Tank went running down the aisle. And she said, they called me Mom. They said, Mom, I did not know you could sprint. I had to get him before he got down there.
Wow.
And what they called him a runner.
Okay.
Yeah, because out this door, he'll run out the door.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He will run out the door.
Okay.
So I had to be on my, and next thing I know, my kids looking at me and they said, Mom, are you okay? Did you get yourself checked? Because they just watched the weight just fall off.
Yeah, they thought something.
Yeah, they thought something was wrong.
With you.
They said, Mom, did you get your pancreas checked? Did you get that?
Right.
And I did. I told the doctor, and she met.
Okay.
And she said to me, she said, well, where is he? I said, my daughter is now 16. She can stay home and watch him while I come to you.
Wow.
Because I had to always bring him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let two people will watch him. That would either be my daughter or my other daughter.
Okay.
That's it. He's not over everybody's house because I know how he is. I know how he is. People are not going to understand him.
Yeah.
They're not going to look at him and say, well, God, he's a bad kid. No, he just got that energy and he just liked to go.
I went to visit a gentleman in Birmingham. I used to, just like you see me when you first met me, I make my rounds periodically going out just to tell our professional family teachers how much we appreciate them and thank them. I never forget, I went to this gentleman's home and they had adopted a special needs child. And he was originally from Mississippi. He lived in Birmingham. He had retired from the steel mill. So I go in and him and his wife to thank him. He cut me off. He said, no, I need to thank you. He told me a story about his life. And, growing up in rural Mississippi, hard working in 7-7, working in the steel mill, retired. He said, when I retired, I come home and I found myself, I literally could not get out of bed. He said, I started having so many health problems. He said, but when you guys put this child in my home, he said, it gave me a purpose to live. I had a reason to get up out of the bed every morning. And he told me his routine schedule, and he was smiling. He was sitting up there with his jeans and his cowboy boots on, and just with this big old smile, and told me all the health benefits. As another foster parent, one day she stopped and just started thanking me, and she said, Mr. Seraaj, you didn't know, but I had stage 4 cancer. She said, but when you put these foster children in my home and I adopted this child, she said, I'm cancer free.
Wow.
I'm not making this up.
Wow.
I can go on and on and on. One day I was getting ready, rushing to catch a flight out of Montgomery. And the security people standing on the sidewalk by the door. And the security guy stopped me and he said, Mr. Seraaj, he just came up and started hugging me. And all the people was looking. It was going on and everything. He said, I just want to thank you. And I can remember. He said, I know you don't remember me. He said, well, my wife and I used to foster for you. He said, I need to tell you this. And his buddies were standing right there. He said, we was trying to have a baby for 15 years. Said, you put a foster child in our home. He said, months later, my wife got pregnant. He said, now we got 3 children. And I'm telling you, it's our head that happened over and over and over again. So, I tell people, when you talk about the benefits of giving your all to these children, I see it every day. Yeah. And when I walked in, I saw it when I walked up to the door. Because I remember you from the first time I met you. All that energy, looking so healthy.
Thank you. All the time.
If people only knew.
Only if they knew. I visit my job. I didn't actually go to visit the job. I had to take care of some business in D.C. So, and I retired from Amtrak, so we was at Union Station. And then we walked down there, and on the way back, I visited my old job. Everybody didn't even know who I was. I said, hey, Bill, hey, Mary, and everybody going, Sue? And one thing led to another.
Wow.
And they said you didn't even look that healthy when you retired.
Wow.
I just wanted to retire because I reached the age and I put in all that time. I put in 35 years and I was just ready to go.
They was amazed to see you.
And they said, well, we need to retire. If it make you look that good, and I will point to him. I said, well,
Come over here and call us about foster care. That's what they need. Not only retire, but what? Become foster parents. Yeah.
And I had one girl that, matter of fact, she called me yesterday and she said, we're going to have lunch because she want to talk about the foster because her kids are grown.
Excellent.
And she retired also.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's a big plus. I have to say this. My mom was also a diabetic and she passed at 62. Yeah, she was 62, so I'm 67, yeah. But she's been that diabetic since the age of 30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I got paranoid for a while.
Wow.
When I turned 62. Is this my time? Because I became her diabetes because I was the only one out of all her kids that took insulin.
Wow.
And didn't take nowhere near the dosage that my other sister, I only have one, my older sister, she takes medication, but she don't take it. I'm 850. She says she's only 3 something. I take 850 and that's 3 times a day.
No longer.
No, matter of fact, the 850 I still take, but not 3 times a day. I only take it twice a day and no longer take insulin. Yeah. So he's keeping me, and I know he is. He's keeping me young. But I'm gonna tell you a secret. When he falls asleep at 9:15, I'm right behind him.
So he's in school now.
He's in 2 schools.
Okay.
He's down Head Start.
Okay.
And then he goes to a regular public school.
Sure.
It's called Halstead Academy, because he has behaviors.
Okay.
Will get upset.
Sure.
And he'll flip this table if he want to.
Okay.
And so those are all the chemical behaviors
Sure.
that he has.
Sure.
It's because of the drugs.
Okay.
And so the school is going to teach him how to, to air all that out.
Sure.
So he don't have to get mad and angry and flip stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. So he's gone now like all day. Yesterday was his first time being gone, and as a mom, I got paranoid because I'm used to being on the clock. At 12 o'clock, I'm used to him being asleep and wake up by 2:30.
Sure, okay.
And all day yesterday, I was paranoid about the whole thing.
Sure.
Came home, but I can say he fell asleep at 7:30. He did not wake up until 7 o'clock this morning.
So the routine of all-day school is helping him.
It's helping him.
Yes, yes.
So what my doctor suggests with him, because of that chemical imbalance, because he's stable in school all day, I have to take him to the playground. He has to run. He has to. Yeah, he has, and he has bikes. So my daughter takes him down to the playground.
Great. So he gets a chance to play and
get
some of that energy out. You mentioned something to me when I first got here, and I want to talk about it. You said that the kids go to the doctors, the professionals, and they're very shy, and they don't talk to them, but they will talk to you. And you want to know why.
I asked them why. And like I mentioned that I don't use my inside voice.
Yes.
I don't. And I'm always loud. I'm loud because number one, my mom wore hearing aids.
Yes.
So can you imagine her having 8 kids loud? Yeah. And I want, because I feel that if they talk to their doctors more, they don't always have to be medicated. All that stress that they got in them can come right out. So this is where the kids hang out.
Professionally, people say what my trade is. Professionally, trade is I'm a family therapist, and what you're doing is considered clinical.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know. I got it in me, didn't even know.
I'm being serious. You're doing it naturally.
Wow.
Yes.
And this is one thing that I say, even though right now you have an 11-year-old, God willing, she won't be well, she will be 11 years old forever.
No,
What
she
will
won't.
these children look back and say about you
That's
in
right.
their lives? Because people do not think about that. They think about the present.
Yeah.
They're not thinking about the future. And
That's right.
I remember when, because I know I go back and I think back to people who really touched my life significantly. And
That's
I
right.
say, wow, I remember when I run into people, I'll tell people,
Yeah.
my first employer,
Yeah.
I said thank you, because I know I was something else. They were patient with me and kind, and you remember.
You never forget.
That's right.
You never
So
forget.
people think about these children right
You
now,
never
they're just
forget.
this age. They're not going to always be that age.
That's
They're
right.
going to come back and say, I remember when.
Yeah.
And I just tell people, what are they going to remember about you and how you treated them in that moment when, you know.
I make it my business whenever I see people who have touched my life, and I tell them stories, they've been forgotten. Because,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
people I'm talking about is in their 90s and their 80s.
Wow.
And I
Yeah.
tell them, they say, what? I say, yeah, you did that. You did that for me. And I tell my kids about it. I tell them. And a lot of things they did, I duplicated, and I'm doing it for other children.
You know, I had my granddaughter, my first granddaughter, she's 33.
Yes.
And I said, oh my God, I said, Shaquana, I just hope God just keep me here so I can see at 21.
Yes.
You know what she said to me? She said, Grandma, you gonna be here.
Good.
She said, you won't be here. She said, the things you do.
That's
She
right.
said, you running around here like you're 22.